Greetings and salutations, fine people. I'm Patti Alvarez. Welcome to The Good Soul, a show where we'll have supercharged chats with everyday humans from all walks of life and unpack what in their story will inspire us all. We'll extract the untapped wisdom, distill it, and serve it up to you in all the right ways that will engage, enlighten, and most of all, inspire growth within your soul. I think people are awesome. So join me on this journey through the hearts and minds of ordinary people to uncover the good soul within you. This is The Good Soul. Welcome to The Good Soul. I'm Patti Alvarez, and today we're back with part 2 of a story we all loved. My guest is my dear friend, Sue Ratcliff. Welcome, Sue.
Thank you.
Thank you. And this is This Woman's Work Part 2. In episode 69, we shared her beautiful journey of love, family, and fresh starts. Today, in episode 70, we're diving deeper from finding purpose in the workforce to blending families to building her dream home with Brad and making space for joy in every corner of her life. This is the heart of living fully in our second act. So guys, let's jump in. Welcome back, Sue.
Thank you, Patti.
We just had such a great chat pre-show. I'm like, I'm all talked out.
I'm not sure we want to talk about all that stuff on the podcast just now, Patti, but you know.
Went all, well, she will say she renamed Manny Maggie, so that's a good one. I like that one.
Mandy.
It's been a long day. So we basically led up to where you and Brad met. So let's just give a quick recap of your timeline from meeting Phil, kids, and then let's bring us to Brad.
All right. So Phil and I met at university in London when I was 22. We were together for, I think it ended up 34 years. We moved over here to the US 20 years ago. Got 3 beautiful kids, Adam, Charlotte, and Sophie. And then we ended up separating at the end of 2020. We sold the house. I moved into an apartment, 2 girls, 2 cats, 1 dog, and 2 guinea pigs. And then finally, I found a really lovely home for Sophie and I.
Say the word. Antiquity.
Antiquity, Patti.
I love the way you say that.
Patti.
Patti.
Yeah, if you don't know, I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. So I moved into that home at the beginning of September 2021. So that was about 8 or 9 months after Phil and I had separated.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's talk about really quickly, because I'm assuming that Pinky Swear came before Brad, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so let's get into that. When did Pinky Swear come along?
Okay, so brief recap. I was an HR manager with a bank in the UK. We came over here. I spent several years primarily raising my kids, volunteering like a crazy woman, writing on the Talking Point magazine, doing a wild tree food business, but I didn't have a proper career type job. I got involved with Pinky Swear when they brought a kids triathlon to the Point.
Okay. My
kids were all really active with swimming and running and stuff. And I was thinking that would be a perfect location for a triathlon for years. Yeah. Finally, they agreed to do it. I volunteered. This guy called Hunter Kemper came, was a 5-time Olympic triathlete. And he was an ambassador for Pinky Swear. So the triathlon ended up being a fundraiser for Pinky Swear.
Okay.
And after that, I got talking to the founder and the executive director at the time, and they offered me the job of area director, North Carolina. So that's what I did. So that was 10 years ago.
Okay. Are there area directors nationwide, or how many?
There were at that point. There were 6 of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
At the Moores Vegas, I feel like I met a lot of people that were affiliated with Pinky, or that worked with Pinky Swear, or for Pinky Swear. At the cornhole tournament, I feel like I didn't meet as many. I guess it's just because of logistics that we didn't get as many people there. But everybody I met at Moores Vegas was completely lovely. There's one girl, I'll never forget, with short hair.
Chloe.
Oh my God, she was so cute.
Yeah, she's not there anymore, unfortunately.
She's not. Okay.
Yeah, and we're headquartered in Minnesota.
Okay.
And long story short, there's only a couple of us now that work remote.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
a triathlon on the point. Did you swim in the pool or in the lake?
The kids swam in the pool.
Okay.
And the adults, including me, Michelle Mitrani, and another girl, we were in a team.
Oh, I love it.
We swam in the lake.
You swam in the lake.
I was the swimmer, she was the biker, and then we had another girl as the runner.
Okay, and the bike route and the running route real quick. I don't want to get too crazy into this, but I'm so interested.
The bike route for the kids was just around the village.
Okay. And then
the bike route for the adults was down Chuckwood and Barberloop and all that piece.
And was the running and the bike the same route or no?
Pretty much, yeah.
All right, I know this is boring, so let's move on. even Manny's looking at me like, why are you asking these boring questions?
Say the swimming though.
Yeah,
I was a swimmer in the lake, yeah.
And you won.
Well, it's a triathlon, so
anyway.
Yeah.
I'm a reasonable swimmer, a terrible cyclist, and quite a good runner. So, but my kids did the adult one. They were 13, and then Soph did. Anyway, long story short, then after that, we did do the kids triathlon at Ingersoll Rand. It was actually a safer environment for them and better and all that. Yeah. But we did do a gala at the point. So I did 6 triathlons and 5 galas, I think it was.
Wow.
Raised several $1 million for Pinky Swear.
Unbelievable.
Pantry at Levine Children's Hospital, Ambassador Committee, Youth Leadership Council, multiple fundraisers.
Right.
And then COVID struck and my job pivoted, and now I am All-Star Engagement Manager, which means that I am the kind of emotional connection to the families, and I do a lot of storytelling. So that kind of not dissimilar to this, Patti. I'm interviewing families, I'm hearing their stories, I'm writing them down. Sometimes we do videos, and then we share them on social media, and that's what helps people to be inspired to give.
Sure. So guys, just so you're clear, Pinky Swear is a foundation that supports families who have been struck with childhood cancer. What you do is you provide, there's 3 levels of contributions that you make to these families, correct? Gift cards and assistance with so forth. Can you explain that briefly?
Yeah. So when a child's newly diagnosed, we send a $200 gift card. It's called an orange envelope. It comes with a message from our founder, Mitch Chupokas, who made a Pinky Swear with his dad to help other kids with cancer after he was gone. Letters of encouragement, some bracelets. And then families can apply for assistance with mortgage payments, rent payments, bill payments, or we send a larger gas and grocery gift card. They tell us that there's lots of lovely foundations that help with teddy bears and experiences and all those kind of things. And we used to do some of those things now, but we've hunkered down and we're really super laser focused on financial assistance for the families.
Okay. Well, and what could be more helpful? I mean, it's hard enough to be dealing with what they're dealing with. To have to worry about a mortgage payment and so forth. That's really awesome what you guys do. How can you tell everybody how they can, the easiest way to get in touch with you guys to donate?
pinkyswear.org. You can read all of our stories. There's a donate button. You can become a Pinky partner, which is what I am. So I donate monthly. That gives us like a sustainable funds, so predictable funds to help families. You can make a one-off payment. You could set up a fundraiser for your birthday.
You could add them to your will.
You could add them to your will. You could do what the great Sue Harding did here and host an event.
What fun.
Cornhole tournament.
I hope we can do that again this year.
I would love to do that again.
Absolutely. I had such a good time doing events. So listen, guys, we are going to wrap this segment up. Next segment, stepping in a new job can be exciting, but what's even more powerful to me is when we find true love, guys. So don't go away. We got some good stories for you.
Sorry, Brad.
This segment of The Good Soul is brought to you by Aaron Fisnick, certified luxury home specialist with Ivester Jackson Christie's International Real Estate. Aaron serves all levels of the greater Lake Norman region real estate market, and whether buying or selling, she is very much the lady who will deliver like no other. Many of us at Good Soul are also really happy clients. Aaron can be reached at 704-728-5657 or reach out to me and I'll get you guys connected. Thank you, Aaron Fisnick, and thank you guys for tuning in and supporting The Good Soul. Hey, everybody, welcome back to The Good Soul. We're having so much fun on our show breaks. It's hard to get back in. Sue is so wonderful. You're so sweet. And I just want to say that you were saying to me last week when we shot, like, Patti, is this boring? You know, like, and I was like, no, it's real. It's vulnerable. It's the stories that everybody can relate to. So I want to thank you for sharing your story. And you have no idea how many people like your story is going to help and inspire and change. So I appreciate that.
Well, thank you. It doesn't sound particularly exciting to me, but I kind of am who I am. There's certain things I probably wouldn't share for the sake of my kids.
Of course.
You know, we've all got things that we want to keep more private. But aside from that, you know me by now, Patti. I'm fairly open book. And, you know, if sharing my story helps anybody in any small way, then I'm happy to do it. And you've been like, well, we'll come on to that. Okay. But, you know, since I met Brad and then shortly after that, I started coming to Good Soul, and you've got me through so much stuff. I can't say enough good things about you and this place. And
thank you.
So
I literally remember what I was wearing the night we met. It was at Lake Norman Brewery. He wasn't with us. I was
when
with
we
the
went
kids.
To see
Blue Monday. Yeah, it was. I like it was yesterday. You're so vivid, and you were so striking to me, and it was a very exciting because Brad is like a brother to me. So I'm happy that you guys met. Let's put it that way. I'm not gonna.
Well, you said to me at one
about
point
his former life, but
you said to me at one point you told Molly Jane every week, "I'm so glad that Brad met Sue."
Literally. Well, yeah. We'll talk about why on the break because it's private. But anyway, all right. So let's get to it. Single ladies. Manny and I met. We got lucky. We met, and online dating wasn't really much of a thing when that was 12 years ago. I think it's really as of the past like few years. COVID probably made it really a lot more popular. Yeah. But talk to me about your experience with that. Like when you decided to go back and throw yourself into the dating pool.
I mean, obviously, I knew nothing about dating, let alone online dating. I'd been with the same guy since I was 22 years old.
Yeah.
I had some friends back in the summer, shortly after Phil had left, trying to persuade me to go online and do some dating, and I kind of resisted it. Mm-hmm. I did end up setting up an account on Bumble, and I talked to some fairly not my kind of people, like just on the phone or like messaging and that kind of stuff. And I wasn't at that point. I was living in the apartment. I had the girls. I was in a period of transition. Mm-hmm. I'm very much like, I think I compartmentalize things. Like, you know, I can only deal with so much at once, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So, you know, he left. We'd got all of our financial situation figured out. I'd bought the house. Sophie was settled back into school. Mm-hmm. Charlotte had gone back to college. And it was one night, like a few weeks after I'd moved into the house, and I thought to myself, I think I might just set up myself a profile. Mm-hmm. And I'm very comfortable talking to people. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I don't care who I go and have coffee with, who I have a drink with. Mm-hmm. I feel like I've got quite a high emotional intelligence. I can kind of shortlist out the kind of weird people and the not so good people reasonably okay. Mm-hmm. And when I do set it up, it's going to be for an hour. It's going to be in a public place, very obviously. I'm going to have somewhere to go afterwards. And so that's what's going to happen. So I did my Match.com profile.
So it was Match.
Paid the price that you have to pay.
Yeah.
Put some photos of myself, you know, working out with my daughters only the good ones. Yes. They're pictures from about 25 years ago, you know, that type of stuff.
I know. Manny's Facebook profile picture is like 20 years old. I'm like, it's time to change.
And I think
you have to change it to one of us. Anyway.
I'm surprised she knows all my passwords.
I'm going to change it.
Brad's only got about 3 friends on Facebook, and I don't think he's been on it for 10 years. Yeah. But anyway, enough about that. You know, a lot of women tell you, oh no, don't do that. You know, there's a lot of creeps out there and weirdos and, you know, bad stuff's going to happen to you. And I'm thinking, well, what possibly bad stuff can happen?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm too naive. I don't know.
Well, there's like the Tinder swindler types where you were in a situation where I know that Phil wasn't Jeff Bezos, but he did well. So you were, you know, there's people who will take advantage of your financial situation. So there's all kinds of scenarios.
And there's guys, like, don't forget, this is me in my mid to late 50s. There's guys of that age and older that just want to be kind of looked after, right? And someone to do the housework and cook their dinner and all that sort
clean,
of stuff.
wipe their butt.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got you.
And there's some pretty unattractive people out there as well, actually.
Yeah.
But anyway, I didn't really go into it with any agenda. As I say, I was sitting there one night on my own at home and I just thought, I'm going to set up a profile and see what happens. I don't mind who I talk to, who I have coffee with. And and Brad was one of the first people that started to message me.
Oh, did you go?
And he had a picture.
Did you go on a date with anybody else?
No, I didn't actually go on a date with anybody else.
And
that sounds bad in itself.
No,
I
it's
thought
not.
people must think, God, you know, after all that time, she just, you know, went out with the first person. But he messaged me and he gave me his number. He said, I know I shouldn't do this, but he's not a rules follower like me, Brad. And he had a picture of himself. I think it was Lizette and Bonnie Jane by the sign at Good Soul on his profile and everything.
I have to see that picture, Sue. We have to find it.
I'll show you that picture.
I want you to text it to me.
And we agreed to meet in Old Town Public House. He still has on his phone, Sue, OTPH is my name that when it comes up. And we had an hour's meeting. I had to go and pick Sophie up from practice afterwards between 6 and 7
Good old
p.m.
Soph.
So I came in and we talked. And the one thing I remember about it wasn't like love at first sight or anything. We had a nice conversation. The thing we bonded over, we've both read this book called Younger Next Year. Have you read that?
He's told me many times to read that book.
So that is kind of what the connection became between us. Now, Younger Next Year is well worth your read if you're
maybe we should listen to it
if
together.
you're about 50 years old.
Novel, is it
No,
it's about aging.
It's a doctor who's in his 40s and this older guy, and it's about aging and how you can stay young and healthy, like biologically, physically, mentally, by doing 5 key things. And one of them is doing 1 hour of hard exercise 6 days a week.
Okay.
And other things come into it, like sense of community, sense of purpose, diet, of course, loving relationship. Anyway, that is primarily what I remember us talking about. We've got multiple copies of it in our house. And so that was it. And we then decided to meet up. I can remember all these dates. That's the 21st of September. 23rd of September, we went on a walk, a hike.
Did you get sick on the hike or something? Like,
no,
well,
this is now. So we went out on 3 small dates. And I remember Brad on the 3rd date he was sitting there and he said to me, Sue, I wish you dated some other guys. Because he was worried that I would want to go out with some other people. Right. And not just land on the first person.
Yeah, but he was recently separated too. It's not like he was separated for 10 years. So.
No, exactly. Yeah. He was not.
Excuse me.
And then we went to the 4th date was the Whitewater Centre. And I was quite nervous about this date because, sorry, Brad, I'm saying too much here. But so I knew Sophie was having an overnight with her dad that night. Mm-hmm. And I remember.
Did they know you were dating him at this point or no? Not yet.
So no, Sophie did not.
No.
Nobody did. Well, not my kids didn't know anyway. And I remember deciding I needed to redo my nail polish, and I just got a new white rug, a very expensive white rug, and I spilt the red nail polish on the rug. Like he was really gonna care about my nail polish, but anyway, that was on my mind.
Brad of all people.
And we went to the Whitewater Centre, and I remember him saying he brought 2 chairs, and one was taller for me and smaller for him, so we were at the same height. And I remember thinking how thoughtful that was. Anyway, that was a big date.
He's the best.
That was a big date. But 3 weeks after we met, so he'd put on his profile he wanted a hiking partner. Now, I like to hike. I didn't quite realize exactly what that was supposed to mean, but it really meant backpacking.
Yeah.
But me being Sue, and I'm up for pretty much anything where I think I'm not going to die. So we went on our first camping trip together, and it was on Rowan Bald. And we camped the first night in a tent. You know, we backpacked up, camped, and it was great. And the weather was nice and everything. And we set off the next morning, and I had on my friend's rain jacket, which turned out not to be actually waterproof, a pair of shorts, and like a t-shirt, I think.
Yeah.
And the weather, as we went up the elevation, the weather quickly got really, really bad.
Okay.
And it turned into horizontal rain.
The worst.
Freezing horizontal rain.
Mm-hmm.
It was so cold we couldn't stop at all to get any other clothes out. We couldn't even use our fingers to unclip the packs
This is
or
what
anything.
we met. He was as cold as you were too.
Oh God, yeah, he couldn't do anything either.
Aww.
And he was
We're
walking
gonna
ahead
die
of
up here
me.
together.
He was walking ahead of me, and he's told me since all he could think was, "Oh my God, what have I done? This is going to go so badly wrong." And every time he looks around, there's me walking behind him with a smile on my face.
Could you turn around and go back at this point, or was it too late?
No, God, no. There was nothing to do except for carry on. You couldn't stop.
Okay.
You couldn't eat. You couldn't drink. It's hard to describe unless you've been in that situation, how bad the weather conditions can change. And there was nothing to do to save yourself. And I don't want to make it really dramatic.
Wait a minute. Hang on. We have to wrap up. So guys, just give us a few. Enjoy the break, and we will be back because I need to hear the end. Obviously,
obviously survived.
So anyway, don't go away. We'll see you in a few here on The Good Soul. Want a little bit more rainbows and unicorns in your life? Start your day with Good Soul Daily. Every morning, you'll find me in your inbox where I share a quick story, lesson, or quote to spark joy and inspiration. Come join our hundreds of daily readers and let's step into our new day together with my lighthearted, Pollyannic approach. I would be honored if you'd allow me into your heart and head where you are sure to be delighted and inspired. Text me over your email address to 704-618-7993 for your daily dose of happiness and reassurance that life is pretty darn awesome. Welcome back, everybody, to The Good Soul. We're on episode 70. I can't believe we're on episode 70, by the way. This Woman's Work Part 2. I'm with the amazing Sue here. She's one of my dearest friends here in Mooresville. And I, again, want to thank you for sharing your story. So we left off on the mountain.
Yeah. And we were on the mountain a long time.
Smiling.
I don't want to this is
define
not
a long
Mount
time.
Everest. Several hours.
You sleep, you wake up in the morning.
We woke up early. Yeah. We packed up our tents.
Okay.
Had whatever we had for breakfast. And off we set. And I think we had planned to do about 17 miles that day over mountains with a backpack on before we were going to camp for the second night. So this was the Friday night. We were going to camp for the second night.
Was it a loop, the hike, or was it a out and back?
No, it was, I'm trying to remember. We'd parked our car at this hostel.
Okay.
And we were going to circle. No, then we'd got a ride up to. So you get a ride and then you hike back. That's what happened.
Okay.
So it was meant to be a whole weekend's hike. You know, this is the first time we've been on a proper hike. I've known this guy like for 3 weeks, less than.
So this is September, October.
It's mid-October.
Mid-October. Okay.
Mid-October. So you wouldn't expect the weather conditions to be that bad.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty high elevation. So we set off all beautiful and had a great first night and set off the next morning. And that's when the weather started to turn really bad. So you could say, like, Brad makes out that he's like really planful and knows everything about hiking and covers all eventualities. But that was not actually true. And I've since learned that he's like had some near scrapes and things on numerous other hikes. You'll have to have him come on and talk about some of those. Okay. No, he won't. Anyway, but he'd given me the impression, of course, as like this starstruck woman who was falling in love with somebody that he was like super. Anyway,
well, you just just keep making him feel that way. That's all they need.
So anyway,
my hero.
Of course, I'm. So we were on that mountain for several hours, going slowly up in the driving rain, the wind, freezing cold, unable to feel our fingers. And finally, we got down into the woods where we were able to stop for a minute, and he could unclip the backpack and get some
Where did
warmer
you have
clothes
your hands
on.
the whole time? Like in your pockets? Like in fists?
I don't think I even had gloves on. Gosh, you're asking some detailed questions here. That
I'm just thinking of your cute little hands. Like,
yeah,
all
well, they would be
freezing,
freezing.
like,
And I just really wasn't equipped.
Yeah.
So anyway, then we carried. So it was at that point that I thought, oh, this is a good guy. Because he said to me, we're going to go home tonight. So I don't think we're going to have our second night on the tent.
Yeah.
So, but we still had like about 10 miles left to go from recollection. He'll correct me if I'm wrong. He's probably going to watch this and say, no, it wasn't.
No.
So anyway, we had to carry, and we got back to the hostel, I think about 7:30, 8 o'clock at night.
Okay.
And what's funny by then, of course, by then we're all laughing and joking about how near.
Do they have like bourbon at the hostel or like hot chocolate for you? Like anything like that? So you're like,
well, I don't even remember having a drink, but what I do remember is that was meant to be a band playing, and we were debating whether we were going to stay at the hostel and watch this band, and we ended up driving to Johnson City, Tennessee, instead, and going to a German restaurant.
Oh, nice.
And then
fun.
we drove, which Brad knew, and then we drove all the way back to his apartment and got back about 2 o'clock in the morning.
Was he in Cornelius at that point yet?
No, he was living in an apartment in Mooresville, and I was living at a house in Cornelius.
You were in
so we went back there. No, we may have even... No, we didn't come to Good Soul Yoga for the first time the next day.
No.
But anyway...
I didn't meet you here for the first time. I met you...
and that must have been towards the end. Was that on Halloween when we met for the first time?
I don't think it was Halloween, but it was like a week after this camping debacle. I know that. Because that was like the first thing we started. He's like, yeah, almost killed her, basically. Or, whatever he said. Like something really funny. I can't remember. But yeah.
So that was kind of a pivotal moment.
Did you know he was the one? Like, I know you said it wasn't love at first sight.
Well,
does he
by then, kinda. And I remember the week after that. It's amazing how you can remember all these dates. He won't have a clue. It's just different ways brain works.
Of course.
And I remember going to Sophie's state cross-country meet. I think it was in Wilmington. I remember driving back thinking, I think I'm going to tell this guy I love him. Like, and is it too early? And I'd been online, like, how many weeks or months should you say that?
How long should I wait? Well, I want to just backtrack a little. Oh, I'm sorry. We weren't finished. Did you say?
No, all I was going to say is, when you're at that, so you suddenly realize as a 50-something-year-old woman that you're actually feeling a bit like a 16 or 17-year-old.
Oh, God, it's the best feeling in the world.
And you didn't know you could actually feel like that, right?
Yeah.
Like you didn't know people felt like that at that age.
Well,
does that make sense to you?
Completely, and that you would ever feel that way again.
Exactly.
Like
you feel giddy,
senses.
you feel like you're a little kid. And all the way back from Wilmington on those horrible country roads, I remember like playing loud music and singing and
love songs.
Exactly. The same old songs,
Yeah, but I just said to him, I forget where I was driving somewhere, and I called him. I'm like, every love song, I think of you. And whenever I go see like Lana Del Rey, I'm like, I just think of you. I'm like, do you think of me when you hear a love
got a song?
A song? Well, he always used to sing Unchained Melody to me over the phone when I lived in New Jersey. And what's the other one? Man, you sing Unchained Melody, my darling, I hunger for. Yeah. And there's another one you sing. I can't remember off the top of my head. But I have to backtrack a little bit because he said something that was really important before about Brad saying, should you date other people? And I remember having a similar conversation with Manny because I had been single for quite some time and he wasn't. And I just remember him saying, like, I know who I am. And I know what I want. Yeah. And what I want is you. I don't want to date anybody. Because I was like, in my mind, I'm like, should he do a little exploring? Yeah. And he didn't, which was very flattering to me. So, and I remember at one point saying, I've eaten, I've prayed, and I've loved. Like, I'm good. Yeah. There's somebody here, I can't remember who it is that's single. I can't remember which woman, but I remember her saying, like, should I wait? Should I not wait? And I was like, wait for what? You're 48 years old or however old. Like, go out and meet somebody. And if you fall in love, marry him next week. Who cares? You'll know. You'll know if it's right or it's not. We knew right away.
And I guess I am like that as a person. Like, I don't have to see 20 different houses or.
No.
I know
Split
what
decision.
I want. Once I make a decision, then that's me.
You feel that.
Yeah.
You feel it in your gut.
And I'm generally an upbeat, optimistic type. I'm not like the kind of person that's looking for defects or like listening to people who say, oh, there's guys out there that are looking to do this to you. Or, and I like, you're
not going to attract that, Sue.
I've not got that state of mind. I've got a like, this is going to work kind of. And and then very quickly I had all those feelings. And we would go out. So I was at the house and he would come down and pick me up, and so because Sophie was there, and I'd put a clause into my separation agreement that Sophie wasn't to meet any romantic partners for a year. So that kind of came back to bite me, right, a little bit. But it was fun because we would go out every night. We'd go to different places. And I had one girl, I think we were in Birkdale somewhere. And she said to me, she was looking at us and we were just laughing and doing whatever. She said, I wish I was you, she said to me. And I could tell it's because she could see. And another girl came up to us and said, I want to take your photograph to both of us, just like randomly in a bar. So we must have looked pretty. Yeah.
I get a lot of that with the podcasts. I'm like, I can assure you there's days when he wants to murder me. It's not always like that, but no, that's exciting though. And that's fun. I have a friend who's single and has a 11-year-old, and we give nicknames to all the guys she dates. It's like they have all different nicknames, and usually it's a girl's name. But I think the kid is like kind of on to her because like she'll be like, "Is that?" Like kind of peek at her phone when the person calls. But it's really fun. But another thing too, I would add, this is to single women, is you are not going to find somebody past the age of, I would say, 35. That doesn't have like hangups and doesn't have bad habits and doesn't have like, I don't want to say addictions, like, because a lot of addictions could be lethal, but like there, you were never going to find
things that are going to irritate us about another person.
Yeah, like how much are you willing to endure? How much are you willing to endure?
Yeah. Well, it's either that or
spend your life
on your
alone.
own, which is fine for some people as well. But I'm a very gregarious people. I get a lot of joy and fulfillment and just energy from being around people. Of course, I like to have quiet time on my own from time to time. But and I didn't think about it a lot, actually. I didn't think about it too deeply. I kind of think I just knew inside that
you knew
I wanted to be with somebody else. And it's just like, my relationship with Phil was great for a long time, but we'd kind of grown apart, and I'd kind of almost been on my own for several years while he was traveling and business and made my own life. And it just felt and feels great to have somebody else to share everything with.
Oh, like every day is Christmas, I say. I just said to you yesterday in a text, every day is Christmas coming home to you. We have to hit pause. It's already time to wrap up segment 3. Guys, don't go away. We'll see you for segment 4 on The Good Soul. Who isn't looking to get happy and healthy and empower themselves in an extraordinary fitness community? At Good Soul Hot Yoga, we offer life-changing yoga, strength training, cycling, and relaxing therapeutic classes that will make everything in your life feel better. For some power, balance, and peace of mind, we will deliver. Come experience our spa-like wonderland in the center of Mooresville. We will become your happy place. Welcome back, everybody, to The Good Soul, episode 70, This Woman's Work. We're talking love and romance. We just talked a little bit of match. Why? She's literally laughing right now. Why?
I don't know.
You're feeling a little peculiar.
Describe it like that. I'm going red here.
Are you feeling a little peculiar, Sue?
I am. Okay. No, not really, actually. But there you go.
Well, Maddie's in the room. You are a little bit. All right. So take us to cruising altitude. So we meet at Lake Norman Brewery. I told you it was, I will never forget. You were just so enthusiastic and beaming. And
Oh yeah,
you were
we used to
thrilled
love
meet
those
me.
Blue Monday concerts as well. Me and Brad.
So much fun.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think everybody, we
I
all
know.
had our Blue Monday moment.
Lizette, we need you to come back. and do
Yeah.
another
Yeah.
gig
Yeah.
At some
Although we
point.
love Heather. She's
We
great
do love
too.
Heather.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Now, well, did you see? I don't know if you saw on Facebook that
her
Kira
daughter
and Grace got
yes,
engaged.
I did
Yeah.
see that.
I know. I'm so happy.
So sweet.
So sweet. And I said to her, I'm like, the scene looked like a scene from like Under the Tuscan Sun or like the movie Chocolat.
Or Mamma Mia or something.
Yeah, like they're all out in the flowers and the vintage dishes and like the olives. And I'm like, us with our Jersey Mike's wrappers at night. Like, I'm like, are keeping it classy. I know. Anyway, okay, so bring us to cruising altitude and introducing the kids and so forth.
Yeah. So I'm trying to remember who met who first, but Brad has 3 older children.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got Emily and Jesse and Jake.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've got Adam and Charlotte, and they're all in their 20s.
And they all get along.
They all get along.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say that they see a ton of one another.
Yeah.
Because they're all living their own separate lives.
Yeah. But when they're all in one place.
We've had, and I don't think we've ever successfully had all 7, because I'll talk about the younger one too,
7,
together in one place.
Mm-hmm.
Yet Adam was away in the Navy for a long time, which would explain that. It would be great to get them all together.
Mm-hmm.
But
I can think of a reason. I can think of a reason, but
now you're going to make me blush again, Patti. But
anyway,
and then Sophie, she's now 19, but she was younger then. And then Brad did explain to me early on in our relationship, obviously, after we'd just known one another a short time, that he had a little boy as well from his marriage with Susan. And Liam was just 3 at the time. So, again, that didn't really faze me. I think he was worried about telling me some women in their 50s would not be thrilled that they were now part-time taking on a little tiny 3-year-old.
But not my Sue.
Not
you.
me.
Not you didn't even bat an eye.
No, I didn't actually.
Of course not.
And I love him to pieces. And we both support Liverpool Football Club. And we go and watch Charlotte FC together, and we're like really boisterous.
Was he a Liverpool fan before he met you,
no,
or did you
made
him one?
Indoctrination there.
you made him one.
And I'm never going to try and be his mom or anything, because I'm not his mom. But I hope that he grows up. We like to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Brad had to work in Greenville, South Carolina last year, and Liam came too, and we went to the zoo and we went to the Children's Museum. We bounced on the beds and we swam in the pool and listened to music and just was silly.
Yes,
so
I love it.
It's lovely for me because it kind of reminds me of my kids when they were young.
Yeah,
and he's playing soccer and we bond over that because that's my favorite sport. And he and Sophie get along like siblings kind of get along, and he's the younger sibling that she always wanted, really.
Yeah.
She loves kids, she loves younger kids, she is great with him, but of course she teases him, and he's an only child, so he's not quite used to that. But they're cute together.
Where were you recently that he came to the studio? You were away for something, and he came to the studio, and Sophie was like, we're fine, and like she was with Liam, and he got to take another class, and he was like all excited because I forget where you were, but you were away.
Okay, I'm trying to think what that scenario was.
I can't remember where you were. You haven't been to the UK recently.
Well, we did go to the UK. We had a blended family trip to the UK.
Yeah. Anyway.
Brad, Liam, me, Adam, Charlotte, his girlfriend.
I love it.
So that was great.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's there's so many blended families around nowadays, and I think they've all gained enormously from it. And as I say, I'm never going to be Liam's mom, but I hope I'm another trusted adult in his life as he grows older. That I don't know whether you found that with your daughters, that you can talk to, just another perspective on life. And he's a great little boy. I
got really lucky in that Joanne, when we weren't as close then when we first met, but we never had bad feelings. But she embraced me just as much as the kids embraced me. I mean, she knew it was appropriate. She knew it was what Manny needed, and their relationship had run its course. So it worked out very well, as did with my ex-husband and his new wife. So I did luck out in that respect. Now she and I are extremely close.
Yeah.
And it's so easy. It makes it a lot easier holidays. Rachel has my name tattooed on her arm. It says Patty Lynn right here.
Aww.
And I'm like, I wonder how that makes her mother feel. And I can wholeheartedly say, I'm sure she's like, I love it. I fully embrace it. And I fully endorse it, which is really cool. I mean,
well, that's a lot of kudos to you as well, Patty.
Well, maybe. I mean, we're very similar, but we're both very like friendly and outgoing. And like you were saying before, like, I feel like you attract that into your life.
Yeah.
There could be 1,000 reasons why we, bicker and don't get along and, stink eye one another. But who wants to live their life like that?
Exactly.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, I just...
Better to smile.
Well, it's better to smile.
Better to smile. It takes less muscles.
Yeah. To me, it's like, what do you get out of a situation like that, right? I mean, sometimes we can't get on with everybody, right? Not every relationship's going to work.
Agreed.
But you might as well try your best to make all important relationships work as well as possible.
Agreed.
Which is, definitely the case with
Joanne.
Jake and Emily and Jesse's mom and all those kids and everything else. So it's
I don't know a lot about her, but I will say that I've been thinking a lot lately about, like, when I listen to people bitch about other people, like a friend will call and be bitching about their in-laws or this or that, and I hang up the phone. It's like, I hate to say this, I don't want to hear it anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, I just don't want that energy or that like in my head.
It
I don't want
brings you
that
down, doesn't
when
it?
you start here. I remember my mother used to say, when you my mother had a sharp tongue. If she called a spade. So, but she used to say, like, when you talk about people, it makes you look ugly. It makes you like, I just don't want to be that person. And I think that really kind of falls into this whole blended family situation, is that
100%.
Yeah. You can find it.
And definitely never in front of any of the kids, right? Should you be ever criticizing the other parent? Or...
God, no.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Brad moves to Cornelius.
Yes.
How long ago is this? This was...
So this was...
I was at that apartment when he had his back surgery.
Yes. So I guess it was in 2023. Was he just there a year or 2 years?
Maybe 22,
We've been together
23.
4 years now in September.
Okay.
So I feel like he was there. Anyway.
We're at 2025, so it was probably 2023. It was... Do you remember around the month he got the surgery?
September 29th, 2023 is when he got the surgery.
Okay. It might have been... Well, all right.
The listeners and viewers are not that...
They like listening to us think?
I think
We'll
he
figure it
moved
out.
down there in 2022, actually. So like June, like after we met in September, I think that's what happened.
Okay.
So we were very close. We were within half a mile of one another at that point. And
Sue.
so I had my house with Sophie and he had the apartment and
So we have 2 minutes. Tell us about building a house together and what that has meant for the two of you, because I think it's a beautiful story.
Yeah.
It's
So
a beautiful part of the story.
Brad, we knew Brad was going to move in right at the point that Sophie was going off to college last year. And by then we had already decided, I loved my house in Antiquity, but it wasn't kind of optimal for a blended family that included a college age girl and a little boy. And we were also kind of looking towards our dreams that, when you first meet and you lay in bed till late at night talking about all the things you're going to do together and where you're going to live and all the places you're going to travel. And and we'd bought a camper, a travel trailer. And
I didn't know that.
We continue because after the first several backpacking trips and Brad's back surgery and getting older. Yes, we've kind of softened our approach. So we're still doing the camping and there are places we want to go. There are trips we want to make and we want to have a home that's as easy as possible to lock up and leave and off we go, as well as providing the kind of right space, like ergonomically for the family. So So we've got a brand new house. I have to say, it's on a 55 and older community, which is
I didn't know
fine. It is,
Mm-hmm.
which some
Is
people
Liam allowed
laugh
to stay
at.
there?
Liam is allowed to stay. In fact,
good.
20% of people can be under, just even buying the houses
Oh,
there.
okay.
So anyway, it's a very good location. It's between Davidson and Mooresville. So we're a lot closer to Good Soul, which makes me very happy as well.
Hooray.
It's brand new, so it needs very little maintenance. We've got a
Mhm.
nice courtyard garden, which Brad spends a lot of time. We're growing tomatoes and all kinds of things.
You have to
Sophie's
have a
got
party.
her ups. I know, I do have to have
a party and invite us.
Not inviting you. Yeah, of course we're going to do that.
I'll bring a casserole.
Sophie's got her upstairs, like her room and her living area when she's home from school. Liam's got his bedroom. I just love having a small space. I know
Yeah.
you've got a bigger house, but at this point, we can roll out of bed. We roll into our home office,
I love it.
kitchen. It's all really close by. It's nice and warm and cozy.
You both work from home?
We both work at home in the
Wow.
same office,
Oh
so
my
we
God.
must get along pretty well.
That's
Right.
adorable.
I know we have our moments.
I hate to do this, but we have to wrap it up.
I know. I'm sorry.
No, guys, listen.
And I'm sorry you've had to listen to me talk so much.
No!
everybody, for the last
More like thank you,
1
Sue.
hour. It's like a hot
It relates to
60,
all of you.
Guys,
a hot
listen.
26, 90-minute class listening to me.
No, it's not. That's opposite. I wouldn't have asked you to be sitting here if I thought that. It has been an honor. Thank you for sharing your story. Guys, I hope you're as inspired with Brad and Sue's story as I am. So we'll have
One
you
of the
back.
best things Brad's done for me is he's brought me to Good Soul Hot Yoga, because
Aw.
it is like my whole life, the number of people I've met here and the
Yeah.
beautiful people and
I agree.
Patti and everybody.
And
So thank you.
Maggie. Thank you, Sue. I love you. Guys, we love you.
Bye.
Guys, keep tuning in.
Maggie.
Keep coming back. We'll keep bringing you the good stuff here in the Good Soul.